Good afternoon now, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Kimmy McBurney with Allied Home Inspections, but today we're talking all about social media. I'm so excited to share this topic with you guys. I shared it with a few different groups, and you guys are super special because every time I share this presentation, it evolves and gets better. So you guys have the most optimized prime presentation of the social media. And really, social media, it's something we chose in our business to develop our business years ago now, and really have seen the fruits of our labor. So it's something I'm really passionate about, something I've educated myself about over the years, and really wanted to share with agents because 100% it applies to really any small business. But how can you guys as agents kind of capitalize on social media and use it? I like to refer to it as the ultimate CRM, right? Client relationship manager. Because who's doing a great job at managing their CRM? Not I. My social media CRM, absolutely. My real CRM could use some work. So, but I know that I've always got my social media going in a well-oiled machine, so I get to utilize that. So, as we watch all the Canvas slides load and unload, before we get started, I do want to tell you guys a little bit about me before we dig into it. Again, my name is Kimmy McBurney with Allied Home Inspection. This is us. This is my visual representation of all the things we do. And I don't know why there's like paint scribbles on there, but hey, here we are. This is us. So that's my husband in the middle. That's Chuck. He was actually the first one. He started our company back in 2017. We have evolved to 6 licensed home inspectors, 3 of which are female licensed home inspectors. So thank you. Let's get a little amen. And then down here in the corner, that's Justine and Dash. They're our full-time office staff. That's why they're at their desk over there. And in the middle is our new septic truck. How exciting is that? Things I never thought I'd say, right? That's a load of crap. That is a load of crap. I will take your SHIT any day. So really excited. We are now fully evolved to the true one-stop shop. We can do it all in-house. You can see their radon testing. We also now handle mitigation, pest, well, septic, pumping, water quality, air quality, pools, commercial inspections, all the things. So I would love to be a resource for you guys for home inspections, but we're going to put a bow on that and move on because that's not what we're here to talk about. So quickly before we move on, 2 things I want to tell you. Let me see if Jason made it on here really quick.
I'm here.
Oh, he's there. Okay. I have no visual for you, but your wonderful lunch today, if you're here in person, was brought to you by Jason Sherbarth with Rocket Mortgage. Oh, you're on the screen if you want to turn your camera on. Are you decent? He's like Oz right now. There he is. Okay, so thank you, Jason, for lunch. And please tell us more about yourself.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't make it today. I'm at a broker open today. So I am the local Rocket guy here in Western North Carolina. I'm a sales manager. I run a team of 9 as well. Not always in this area though. We have a lot going on. Obviously, you guys have heard the news. We've made some acquisitions. We bought, Mr. Cooper, and we bought Redfin. We're not trying to be a real estate company, but our superpower is leads, right? We are a retail model where we buy every single lead there is out there and we convert those clients, right? So instead of buying a bunch of leads from Redfin, which and Zillow and Realtor.com like we normally do, we just bought a company which is going to get us more clients. So it's going to save us money over the long term. A little bit about me personally. I've been in the industry for about 15 years. I've been at Rocket for 12 of those years. I'm a producing sales manager, and we have a lot of programs out there to help our clients. The one that we've recently put on is called our rent rewards program. So essentially, if somebody pays rent, we're going to give them, say they pay $3,000 of rent a month, that's $36,000 a year. We're going to give them a $3,600 credit towards their closing costs just for paying that rent. We want to help our first-time home buyers. We want to help people that maybe didn't think they could purchase a home and get them into a home. The second thing we do is we have free credit repair. So a lot of people have taken advantage of this where maybe you don't qualify for a loan or you have clients that don't qualify. I get their credit scores up, I dish them back out to you, and then that makes a client that you wouldn't normally have and gets you an extra closing. So if you ever get a Rocket client, let me know. Give me a call. My direct line is 734-693-6766. and I can take over any Rocket clients that you've ever gotten. Otherwise, try me out and see if you like me. Thanks.
Thanks, Jason. Will you put your contact in the chat as well? So if anyone
Yeah.
needs that after, let me know and I can get you his information. Thanks, Jason.
Chat's disabled, so I'll just send it to you.
Great, thank you. And no way can I restore that. So, okay, let me go back to screen sharing. I think we are still screen sharing. Okay, great. We could see you in person. Share.
Are you guys done with the audio, Kimmy? I was trying to turn it down, but I wasn't having any luck.
No, I do need to still use it.
Okay.
Okay, we're just gonna share
To
again.
your restaurant app, the A.
Yes.
Yes.
Or you're gonna turn it down?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we need to turn it way down.
I don't know, I like deafening
Do you?
a little bit. I have kids, little kids. I'm like, I need the volume up or else I can't hear anything.
Okay, that should be a little less ear splitting.
Okay, one more thing I wanted to share with you guys before we get rolling, because I think it's incredibly applicable. This is something I came across and I think it is the most genius idea. And I want to implore all of you to strongly consider something like this. I'm seeing it a lot. So what this is, I want to bring up my great friend, Corey Wall. She has a listing and a broker's open on Monday. But what's special about her broker's open on steroids is they are doing updated headshots and a social media reel. So if you leave today and you're like, no chance, I can't do it, I don't even know where to start. Well, now you do. Monday, you're going to go visit Corey. So Corey, tell me a little bit more about your event and your listing.
Yeah, so this is such an awesome house. It's in Biltmore Park. It's 5,300 square feet. And of course, you guys know all about the amenities there. And it's like the most inexpensive HOA. I don't know if you guys know, but it's like $800 a month. And you get the pool and the tennis court and the walking trails and all the things. But this house is gorgeous. It's in the luxury, EXP luxury right now. So yeah, come get filmed. I don't know if you guys know Ashley Schultz, but she's awesome. And Joanne Winkler is a local insurance guru. She is the third generation. I'm so excited to have her. So any insurance questions, like come prepared. And then Ben is also one of my Fairviewans I brought in as a lender. He's with Fifth Third. Thank you guys. Okay. It didn't sound right coming out of my mouth. So anyways, I'm super excited. And then next week also I have Wednesday, which is Agents Helping Agents. We're doing lead generation. We do it every month. It's the third Wednesday of every month. And last month, my husband came from the police department and talked about agent safety, which I'm actually gonna do something with DR Horton on that. So I'd love to invite you guys to that too. But Wednesday, 9:30 to 11. We really start at 10, but 9:30 to 10 has been really awesome networking. And then come get Chick-fil-A breakfast. That's what we do.
Yeah.
So I hope to see you guys there. And it's just an awesome opportunity. I know like a new agent came and I got her to connect to a new brokerage and just, you know, all sorts of really cool. We sold a house in our little Agents Helping Agents Club. So it's really good networking. And I think more than ever with our marketing and what's happening in our market currently, like we have to build relationships with each other over anything else so that we can survive.
Where's your Wednesday meeting?
Oh, thank you. That would be helpful. So it's 216 Ashland Avenue. It's a Medicaid provider place, but they have like even cooking classes. They give out all sorts of free classes. So yeah, 216 Ashland Avenue.
So let me do something really quick to kind of help you guys with that. So I'm gonna ask you all to bring out your phones, Zoom-ins as well. Please bring out your phone. So everybody in here, because you're gonna have to do 2 activities on your phone. So if you could get out your phone really quick, we're gonna go to Instagram. So first, we're gonna find Corey.
Aww.
Corey Wall Real Estate, just like it sounds. CORYWALL. He's writing it down. It's gonna be great. Sometimes I'm like, just humor me and take your phone out and pretend like you're doing it. Thank you. Corey Wall Real Estate. Like she said, she does the Agents Helping Agents every month. That's actually where this class was born months ago.
She's my first person.
Yeah, so very helpful. So Corey Wall Real Estate, she will post her AHA Agents Helping Agents there. And then this social broker open as well. I'm kind of getting ahead, so follow her. The reason I wanted to share this, I'm seeing this a lot. Did anybody yesterday see an agent promote the villas at Pinecroft? There was about 15 of them that did it. I don't know what happened. What I think happened is they hosted something like this. They gave them free edited reels, right? They looked really professional, really great, and really well done. Guess what? Every single one of those agents shared them. So I think things like this to promote your listings are really, really key and incredible. And if you have someone like Ashley there to be a powerhouse and help agents like yourselves create reels, incredibly valuable. So thank you, Corey.
And Smokey and the Pig is gonna be there, barbecue.
And free lunch.
And this class is awesome. You guys are gonna get so much out of it.
Yes.
So good.
Corey's a graduate, so she's gonna move on with her day.
I need part 2.
Okay, so part 2 of my task, and there's a raffle involved, so there's prizes. So let me I'll hold your attention. Okay, find us on Instagram, preferably Allied Home Inspector. See if you can find us. So what I'm gonna ask, if you can, is give us a follow if you don't follow us already. If you do follow us, find a random post and give it a like. This is gonna be your entry into my contest. Zoomers, you can do this as well. I'm happy to send you a virtual gift if you win. So I'll give you guys a second. So either give us a follow or give us a like on a random post. Like I said, what this is doing is putting you guys in my news feed. And I'm gonna watch Alina. You win. You get an Amazon gift card. Congratulations. So what I did there, so a couple things. There's nothing I can say in the next 2 minutes to convince you guys to use me as your home inspector over somebody else. Vice versa, if you guys meet somebody at a coffee shop, it's really hard for you to convert that person as a seller or buyer in 2 minutes or less, right? Nor do you want to word vomit on this person. But if there's a chance you can connect with them on social media, they can get to know you guys organically. That's why I want you guys to get to know us as home inspectors, right? I post twice a day, every day. One is a field find. So I tell agents, you're educating yourself, right? You're seeing what we're seeing. So you can kind of get familiar with the defects that we see. And then we also share our team. So you guys can get to know, love, and trust us organically without me having to sit there for hours and hours and kind of educate you or get you to, have you guys get to meet us. So that's a recurring theme throughout my chat today is getting to know your clients, being present on social media so people can know and love and trust you, like and trust you, right? They don't need to love you, not yet, through social media. So quickly, why us? So like I said, you guys just followed my social, that's paint scribbles are really gonna get me. You followed us on social media. So I took these screenshots just yesterday, I believe. We have just over 7,000 followers. You can't really read it, but here in a professional dashboard, in the last 30 days alone, we have almost 700,000 views on Instagram alone. That's actually pretty low for me. It was in the millions in January because we had the top performing video. But I share this to have a small brag moment, but really we practice what we preach, right? I want you guys to find similar success if that's what you want for your business. So you can see in the middle there, almost 700,000 views, 14,000 interactions. Anybody interact with 14,000 clients in the last 30 days? Yeah, neither did I, except for on social media. And let's be real, am I going to serve 14,000 people? No, but what is it doing? It's giving me the brand exposure to reach the people that I want to reach, right? It's a numbers game and we want to cast a really wide net. So like, for example, here's a video. Let's see if it plays. This was the January one that was responsible for the millions. Let's see. It has music. We got a plumbing fixture, we got a draining straight in the shower pan. So it's little things like that I like to share. And most of our reels, if they ever are viral, and sorry if Zoom couldn't see that because I'm not sharing that tab, I'm sorry. That's a lot of what we share, right? We do a combo of kind of viral reel type stuff and then, longer educational team building type stuff. So that's a little preview about what we share. So my why, again, speaking to you guys. So why do I care so much about social media, or why did I invest in it for my business? I met with kind of a business friend / coach years ago now, and he said, well, Kimmy, how do you get clients? Which for me, clients are real estate agents. You guys are the best referral partners we could ever ask for. And I said, on lovely days like today, I speak to, a handful of agents with lots are. Cool, that's great. But how do I 10X that? Right? My business is built off hundreds and hundreds of home inspections a year, right? This just isn't going to do it. Or for you guys as well, right? Your business is built off numerous transactions. Meeting one client here and there is great, but if you can make your presentation and your presence evergreen on social media and have that always working for you, that's what we're going for, right? So how do we 10x our personal presence and personal effort, right? If you're sharing market data, how can you 10x that and share it with numerous people, right? Instead of making cold calls and having one-on-one individual conversations, if we can share this on our social media, we're reaching a lot more people, being present and whatnot. So really powerful if you can start to have and develop your social media presence. So again, if you're on Zoom, I apologize. This is basically just a piece of scratch paper, but if you're here in person, everyone got a piece of scratch paper to brainstorm. So one thing I want you guys to do really quickly, because somebody somewhere said if you write stuff down, you remember it. So we're going to give it a try. So humor me, you can pretend. So at the top, I want you to write a goal. What is your social media goal? It can be anything. I promise I won't force you to share if you don't want to. What is your social media goal? Why did you sign up today? Why were you like, oh, social media, like, oh, I want to go because, and I can help you guys with some goals. You know, you want to post more, you want to reach more people, you want to gain clients from social media, you know, whatever it may be. So I'll share mine. So when I started, like I said, I think it was like November, December of 2022, we were developing our business, and we had some kind of natural organic growth for marketing and whatnot, but I knew, like I said, social media had potential, but I just wasn't reaching it. We, at that time, were paying somebody to run our social media. It was painful. You guys see our stuff. We have like a clear color scheme, kind of that army green color. They were posting in like purple and pink. It was painful. So I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I told myself, I think it was December, I was like, I am going to post every single day for 30 days. And if I don't, then I'll hire somebody. But if I do and I can pull this off, then I'm going to keep it in-house. I have kept it in-house ever since. I sub out pretty much everything else, or not sub, but you know, I have assistants, we have inspectors to do the inspections, but social media is something I've always kept in-house. So if that's your goal as well, like a 30-day challenge is a really helpful goal to get over. Like I call it objection handling, right? Because you know, I don't have time. I have kids, I have other responsibilities, but if you push yourself to do it for 30 days, you're going to handle your own objections, right? You're going to find ways to get past. And I'll share a lot of the ways that I got past a lot of my roadblocks in doing social media. So first and foremost, you got to be everywhere. I love when people are like, Kimmy, you are everywhere. You are doing everything. I'm like, am I? Or does it just appear that way? You know, right? I'm giving out that perception that we're constantly working. So it's this concept of social proof. Who knows what social proof means in this context? Right? Like if there's no proof, it doesn't happen, right? If there is no evidence of you being a real estate agent on social media, is it happening? Is it happening? So for example, if you want to try a new restaurant in town, what do? What's the first thing you do?
Look at reviews.
You look at reviews. For me, I'm going to go to Yelp, right? You're going to go online. Your clients are Googling you 100%. And right now, the top search results for Google are going to social media, either an Instagram or YouTube or somewhere. There has to be social proof. If you want to be incredibly private, make sure your profile is private and turned off. But if you've got it on and you're forward facing to the public, you've got to have some semblance of being a realtor. And I know people are like, oh my gosh, that's so cringe. I can't deal with it. You guys, I annoy the crap out of my family on social media every day. My mom loves it. She's like, I love seeing you every day. I know you're alive and well. I was like, great. But it really, like, it's just about being present and showing people that you're out there doing the work, right? I actually had a realtor that I had interviewed for one of my panels a while back who was chosen for an opportunity because of my social media. I had shared, I post on YouTube. So they said they were vetting her for an opportunity, saw that she did an interview with the home inspector and literally said that that was the reason they chose to work with her, because she was clearly generous and giving of her time and knowledgeable. Who knew, right? But if those things weren't there and they weren't on YouTube, she may not have had that opportunity. So really good reason to be everywhere. Oh, one other thing I always say when I go to this. So these are a bunch of our home inspectors. So people always say, but Kimmy, it's easy for you. You have all these employees you get to subject to embarrassment on the daily. Agreed. You can subject any of them to embarrassment as well. And yes, I'll tell them I said that. You know, I think a point, and we'll touch on this point often, you guys have inspectors, you have lenders, you have insurance agents, you have your brokerages where you have your broker mates that you guys can get in videos, you know, so if it kind of freaks you out to be camera facing and all the things like that. There are so many ways around that to be creative. So yes, but Kimmy, I don't have time. I also don't have time. Like I said, time is the illusion to me. So this is something a little more advanced, but I really want to touch on it early on. So this, and if those paint scribbles match up my QR code, please let me know. So like I said, a little bit advanced, but if I started over, this would be one of the first things I did. So this is a program, repurpose.io. And yes, that QR code is a referral code for me if you choose to use them. But this is definitely one of my secret tools because, so I just mentioned that agent I worked with was found on my YouTube. I don't post on YouTube. This website posts on YouTube. I only post on Instagram. This website basically regurgitates or repurposes all of my content on Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. I don't do Snapchat. And every time I do this presentation, I'm like, I should probably do Snapchat. I do LinkedIn. So let's go down the list really quick. What do you do on Pinterest? Anybody? For your house, your business, right? If people are putting vision boards together for homes, that content comes from content creators like ourselves. So that came to me years ago from a realtor. That was such a great idea. LinkedIn, who's got a LinkedIn? Whose LinkedIn is updated? I was chosen for speaking. Like most of us came from other professions. I came from the construction world. Like a construction headhunter called me the other day. I was like, how did you even find me? He's like, LinkedIn. I was like, I need to update it. Because our company LinkedIn is based on my husband's profile. And I had a speaking opportunity one time and someone had a picture of me and I was like, where did you get that? He's like, it's your LinkedIn photo. I was like, okay. So I strongly encourage you guys to establish all these platforms, have a bare minimum, right? Have your profile picture be the same across all platforms and have the bare minimum because like I said, you want to cast a wide net. For example, YouTube. I do not post on YouTube unless I post some recordings, but my reels every day, I do not personally go on YouTube and post. I post on Instagram and then they are repurposed on YouTube. But to my point earlier, that agent was found because they were on YouTube, right? Every day I get comments on different platforms. You never know what's going to hit. If you are spending time making content, put it everywhere. You're doing yourself a disservice if you're only posting to Instagram or you're only posting to Facebook, right? You're going to get more credit for that native post. So meaning I post on Instagram every day. So Instagram is going to be my biggest following because they're going to give me the most credit for being in the app. But an agent I knew got recognized from my YouTube, right? So it's like, you want to cast a wide net. If you're working on the content, you want it to be there. So really helpful. Like I said, post to Facebook, which Meta will automatically post to Facebook anyways, but really this is kind of just a catch-all to make sure it's everywhere.
Is there a cost?
There is a cost. Great question. I think it's in the low $20 a month. I think I was grandfathered in like the teams, but best 20 some odd dollars you'll ever spend. Yes.
Question about just native content.
Yeah.
Guys, are you filming in Instagram or are you filming in you're in camera and then using CapCut to edit, or do you film in Instagram?
I mostly film on my phone.
Yeah.
Great question. Like it depends what it is. If you want to do like a voiceover reel, you're going to have to film in Instagram. Most of ours are filmed and then overlaid in Instagram, but I do most of my editing in Instagram. Some of them I do in CapCut.
Yeah.
So if you see any of my like more transition-y ones with like events and stuff, I do those in like 3 seconds in CapCut. So CapCut is definitely one of my resources. Great question. And please, at any point, if you guys have any questions, please interrupt me and ask. Because like I said, this is such a wide gamut of like beginner to advanced type techniques. But really, like I said, I bring this up early on because if I started over, I would absolutely implement something like this because like I said, if you're posting in one place, you need to be posting in all the places. Very, very helpful. Like TikTok. I loathe TikTok. Don't tell them I said that. They're listening. I did like 2 dance. I didn't know. No, I never danced. I did like a voiceover video and I was like, it was so cringe. I couldn't deal. So, but I'm there. It exists, right? I've cast that wide net, but you don't need to necessarily be on all these platforms. So really helpful. So when it decides to think of it, but how does this help my business, right? I like to say that I get paid to doom scroll on social media. So here's my CRM. So this is it's a little bit outdated now because like on Instagram, you see it says 6,300. We're now over 7,000. This is my social media world. And yes, you'll notice my top left, I have chosen to blend personal and professional because I like money. Who likes money? Yes. You know, I hear a lot of people say that's an objection I get, right? Like, oh, it's personal and I have my kids. 100%. Guess what, guys? You choose what you post. If you don't want to post your children, don't post your children, right? It is not an invasion of your privacy. You are the ones putting it out there. So I do know some people who maybe created a secondary one where they're going to really share some family stuff and keep that private. But the reason I chose to use my personal accounts for business is because of the CRM aspect. So for example, so my personal Facebook on the top left, I have 5,000 followers there, right? Hundreds and hundreds of friends on Facebook that when did Facebook come out? 2005, I think it was, like, depending on when your college got it, if you were in college at the time, which I was. Anyways, 20 years. I could never recreate that database if I tried. Incredibly invaluable. So then we have our business page. So we have 4,000 followers there. Our YouTube, we have over 1,000 subscribers. My husband's LinkedIn has 470. Our Instagram now has over 7,000, and begrudgingly 400 people have found us on TikTok. Do the math. 17,228 people in my direct reach. Who has 17,000 people in their CRM? Not I. But you would be surprised how many people you already have in your social media database that you are not utilizing. Like I said about Facebook, I kind of want to harp on that example here. This is my Facebook kind of dashboard if you dig into like your more options. I circled some of them. Current city, hometown. I'm from Southern California originally. Like I said, I could not replicate this database if I tried. These are the people we want in our sphere of influence. How often do we hear sphere of influence? People are like, I just moved here. I don't know anybody. You know a lot of people, right? You have people from high school who could be referral partners for you. You have people from previous jobs. Some of the agents I've interviewed in the area who gained business from social media, she's like, yeah, I used to work at Mission and somebody there sent me a client, right? So this is where you need to start honing in on that sphere, and don't be a secret agent, right? People need to know you're in real estate. And again, I know that feels cringe. No one has ever said to me, Kimmy, you're annoying. Kimmy, please stop posting. They'll just stop following you, or they'll just unfriend you. But really, should I not broadcast to 17,000 people because there's one person that I think I'm going to annoy? Absolutely not. Right? It's this incredible tool. And there's things on stuff like Facebook in particular, for me, it would be the most like personal and kind of backdated. You can always restrict, you know, put close friends, acquaintances, etc. But like I said, long ago, I just let it go and decided that I'm just going to be me and this is my business. And if you don't like it, then you can unfollow me. But I think it's really valuable. So using things like that. But it's easy for you. You have the best content. Guys, I'm in the same house as you're in, right? Not saying that I recommend you use the content in the same way we do, because obviously we're very, very, have a specific kind of niche and whatnot. But you guys as realtors have an abundance of resources. So don't feel like you need to write these all down. This is more of kind of like a brain jogging activity. And I will share these slides and I'll share them with you guys. So don't feel like there's like 8 of these slides. So don't feel like you got to take pictures. So things you can do: introductions, neighborhood tours, local hotspots, behind the scenes, home staging tips, investment properties. So one I kind of highlight on here: pet friendly homes. Don't be afraid to, oh no. Don't be afraid to niche down. There are a lot of people who, there's one agent I think of in particular when I see this. I think her Instagram handle is literally like pet loving realtor in Asheville, right? Don't be afraid. Don't think that, oh, if they don't have pets, then they're not going to work with me. They're going to work with you. But what's going to happen if you kind of niche down is your like personality is going to shine through. It's going to be more organic to you and you're going to want to post more, right? We've all heard the saying, if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody, right? So don't be afraid to niche down because one, you're going to gain more clients from that sphere. I mean, and really, you know, top producers, what, you know, do like 30 and more transactions a year would be a lot, right? That's 2 a month, right? So if you niche down, that's, you know, that can be the whole source of your business, right? So don't be afraid to niche down. So again, luxury listing, home buying tips, property maintenance, success story, Asheville culture. I personally think a little bit of humor goes a long way. So here's kind of some funny stuff like realtor problems, real estate lingo. I like to point this one out. I've seen a couple people in North Carolina do how to pronounce Appalachia is good on New Leicester Highway. Anybody? Like, things like that. Like if you were moving to Asheville, you'd be like, someone please tell me how to say Lester. Like, I don't know, like Leicester, like what are we talking about? So there's just little things like that that you can really show your expertise in an area and gain people's attention. Real estate memes, if houses could talk, realtor outfits. If you want to dance on TikTok, you are more than welcome. It's not my calling, but I know an agent who's definitely built their entire business based off TikTok. Open house, pets, house hunting with kids, weird requests, onto houses, lots. So again, I'm hoping, I don't think people on Zoom are going to be able to see this. Let me see if I can screen share the entire screen. Yes, I can. Okay. So I wanted to click through a couple of videos. So I wanted to show you guys some of the ones that I love, give you guys some inspiration, kind of share what we share to make you guys successful. So the first one I want to share is from 2 other local agents here in Asheville. Hopefully it loads.
I really wish I could find my clients the perfect house in Hendersonville that's not far from Asheville with tons of room for their family to come stay.
Did I hear you say you're looking for the perfect house? I got it. 1101 Shepherdville.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it. It's actually kind of a long video. So it's funny. So Tyler's a good friend, but I presented this at Looking Glass Realty and they actually shared, this was kind of months later. They're like, that listing was previously listed with somebody else, did not sell. They took it over. I'm not gonna say it was this video specifically that did it, but it sold pretty quickly. So really the power of video marketing. The reason I love this is because I don't know why, but I was scrolling and it caught my attention. So that's one of my first tips to you guys. If you're scrolling and something catches your attention, take note. Why am I watching this? I watched a reel the other day of someone like drawing out paper towels and cutting them. And it said, you know, appropriate, like, or whatever they were selling was on the paper towel, written on the paper towel. I was like, why am I watching? What am I doing? What's going on? But this is one that caught my eye. I was entertained. They keep popping out of things, right? They use different angles. They use kind of catchy phrases. So, but this is a great example of, Tyler does a lot of video, but Jeremy does not. And he was very averse to video. So this is kind of something that they could do together. You guys can do with brokerage mates, with somebody else, that it's not, so you're not having to just sit there, be forward facing to the camera, because I know that can be hard for people, but making fun videos like this can be really powerful. One other example I have of this, it's kind of small. Does anyone recognize her? Well, you guys are in for a treat. Yes.
This is my new listing, and this is where I'd hide if I were playing hide and seek and own this home. Follow me. This is the living room. I bet you can't find me. I think you should look under the couch. Look at this beautiful kitchen.
I'm gonna pause it. It goes on and on. This one, she's out of DC. She has this video alone. I think that's outdated. Almost has 1 million likes. She has now created a brand around this video. I do think she was one of the first. There are so many hide and seek videos now. I think it's such a creative way to showcase listings. I watch them. I think they're hilarious. Also, the whispering is a whole thing, right? So finding out why you're watching things, why they're engaging. Again, I know it feels a little bit cringe, but if people are getting, you know, if you're getting business and people are enjoying it. And then also one of my biggest themes going across is don't be afraid to copycat. In the social media world, it is an absolute compliment for somebody to copy your video or to remake or something like that, right? It's not seen as kind of an infringement. If anything, it's a benefit because that's going to feed her algorithm, right? Because people are going to see that they're kind of tacking onto this. So vice versa, she's going to get more credit, you're going to get more credit. So for example, I want this as a link.
This is not my house, but if I were to
So we did
inspect
this
it,
one.
this is where I would hide. Let's go.
This is one of my
This the living
inspectors.
room. I bet you think I'm behind that chair. Nope. I'm behind the curtains. Here's the bathroom. I know what you're thinking. There's not a lot of places to hide. But here I am. Here's
So really easy. So a couple of objections I'm going to handle here. So a lot of the thing I hear from a lot of agents, the first thing, I don't have a listing. Where the heck am I supposed to film this? I don't have a listing either. I'm a home inspector. So I posted this on social media, or I posted on my Facebook and I said, I need a staged listing that wants some publicity. I had 14 people. This is actually one of Galen's listings, a good friend of ours. And he's like, sure, it was a staged Airbnb, so it was perfect, right? And all complimentary. Like I'm not going to go there and film negative content, but We filmed within an hour or two, batched a bunch of content. But so that's the first objection, right? If you don't think you have a listing, there are many people in your brokerage that do and would love positive attention. You do have to ask for permission, and you do have to give them credit. So what I recommend is in the caption, just write their name or listed by the agent's name, their firm, and the MLS number. Done, right? We don't need to be so worried about not representing. So make sure, and if you are worried, talk to broker in charge, but really it's easier than we think. And this one was really low budget. It was shot on my iPhone, and I did have some microphones that are like $30 on Amazon. They plug into the bottom of your phone. But really these things can pretty easily be recreated. This one was edited in the Instagram app. So stuff like that. So we're gonna, and later on, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about some content for you guys and what you can do. But one thing also I want to kind of perpetuate as the theme is using video. Again, there's some statistic, I really should memorize it by now, but video is viewed, like 70 to 80% more than stills. So the one thing I kind of want to illustrate are these next two. So the bottom right, this is another home inspection company. They're good friends out of Ohio. I share with their permission. This is our Mother's Day post. Where do you think they did it? Canva, right? Resist the urge. Canva is an incredible tool, but using it for stills like this, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. So the one I'm going to share, it's a reel of us, the one that says Happy Mother's Day. I happen to be the only mother at our firm, so it's just me. But this one was done in CapCut. All I did was go in my camera roll. I picked, you go in CapCut and you basically say like 8 video template, and then you just insert the videos in there. So this one, I just got 8 videos out of my camera roll that I was in that were applicable to work and pasted them together. But on average, 25 likes, where someone may be like, oh, but that's only 25 likes. If you could have 25 conversations or be acknowledged by 25 of your clients today, would that be a win? Absolutely.
And what's the view count also?
Exactly, right? So not a lot of people, right? It's probably a couple hundred, right?
Yeah, some people don't like
Whereas a still, there still probably has 3 likes, right? So any engagement, and again, it's just presenting ourselves, right? So if you want to celebrate a Mother's Day, or even if it's not yourself, like if it's Veterans Day and you don't have a veteran in your company, like you can share other video that may be applicable and, and give service and give, homage to that day. So I think you can see it here. So this was something that was shared to me. I think it might've been from Facebook. It said, your reels get 112% more views on average. So just making the point that making things a reel or video is really, really powerful. And just this example alone. So for example, if you're sharing a listing, if it's just listed, just sold, just closed, whatever it may be, put some video behind it, right? If it's a Canva template, you can absolutely always insert video, right? Why not make it a little more dynamic to get a little more engagement out of anything? So kind of try and apply that rule to anything that you do on social media. Okay, some advice that I don't even take myself. What happens when you go live on Facebook? Anybody?
Nobody watches.
Fair,
But they standard. I mean,
but that's a
5% do live videos and
oh,
nobody's watching.
you are the queen of live. But here's what happens every time you go live. I get a notification.
Oh,
It is the only time you are guaranteed to have a push notification to your clients.
okay.
I took these screenshots in the top left. Lynn Bolzer, she's an agent here in Nashville. You can see the timestamps. They're 5 minutes apart, and they're like, Lynn is live. Lynn is live. I'm like, okay, got it. Lynn's live, noted. But think of how much power that has, right? When someone has social media, right? Those are notifications that were pushed to me, and I wasn't even in the app, right? There are email marketers. Their sole job is to get you to read it long enough to delete it, right? But guess what? It's subconscious. You've seen their name, you've seen their face, you've seen their brand, and it's internalized. Same with social media. It's really powerful. So for example, how many touches, real estate touches, right? Phone calls, emails, text messages, does it take to convert a buyer client on average? 300, that would be a lot. It's a lot less than that. 15, 7. I've heard like 10 to 12, right? So let's go back to our coffee shop example. You've met somebody at a coffee shop and they're like, oh, I just, we just moved into our apartment, but we're going to, we want to move here. Oh, great. I'm a real estate agent. Cool. Do you have one? No. Fantastic. That's one touch, right? You probably text message them after the interaction. That's 2. Maybe you called them a few days later, but really you're kind of reaching the end of your rope before you annoy these people, right? So social media is an incredible way to fill those gaps, right? I talked to a social media agent here local to Asheville that has had success finding clients on social media. And this is part of her buyer intake and outtake, right? So she is making sure if she meets somebody in the coffee shop, try and find them on social media. It's not that creepy. And like I said, if they don't want, if they don't want to engage, that's fine. They're probably not good client material anyways. But if you can friend them on social media, and if they're posting and you can like and engage, it's a really good way for you guys to be present. And guess what? If you're liking and engaging with their stuff, your stuff's going to show up in front of them, which again is a really good way to fill in these touches without having to be that person, right? And if you're that agent like Annie, who is always going live on Facebook, and then again, you're going to be presented, and guess what that client's going to see? Like, oh, like she's out there doing the things.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
So we had this whole discussion on, I don't know if you were in the state meeting today, Tim, but they were talking about social media, and I said just that. And you just said something, because I only do lives. I'm lazy. I don't want to edit. I don't want, like, I started some other things, and like, and my daughter is really good at that, and we started some other things, but if I don't have the help, I'm not doing it. So live is great for me, because I'm just like, I'll go on, I'll come out of hot yoga, I'll sweaty, I don't care what, like, but you just said, and you're always on there. I post like, I've lately been posting like once a week. So thank you for that. For thinking I'm on there all the time, because people do tell me I go out in the public, out in places, and I have been that person who's everywhere, and they're like, oh my God, your video. I'm like, thank you. I just did one this week. So, but it took a lot at the front end. I did a lot more. So creating that presence. So creating the presence, having that social proof, being out there. So I illustrate this for you guys because, like I said, Annie is a pro and she's going to go live wherever she is. You guys, what I want to ask for you is open houses. 100% you need to go live at the beginning of the open house. I know it's cringe. No one stays, no one watches. Not the point. Not the point. What the point is one, you could actually attract some foot traffic to your open house. Two, you have a reason to go live, right? You don't have to just sit there and talk and feel all awkward, right? You're just saying, hey, I'm doing an open house. This is the address. Maybe walk them around. Doesn't matter, because now you're being notified to everyone. And even if they aren't active at the time, you're going to be going in their news feed. So again, social proof, you're out there doing your job. You're gonna get that presence and be forward to some people. So if nothing else, if you do an open house, go live. If you're at somebody else's open house, go live, ask their permission. But again, who's going to say, no, please don't publicize my listing, right? That's the point. So going live is a really, really cool tool that you guys can use as realtors. So hey, let's revisit our brainstorming worksheets for just a second. We've said a lot. Can you guys jot down some notes? Anything else? Has your goal evolved? Like I said, one of my goals so far for you guys, if you're having trouble posting often, challenge yourself to post once a day, every day for 30 days. Organic native posts. Resharing somebody else's post doesn't count. But I'm going to share some ways with you guys later on that you can recreate posts that's really, really quick and painless. But sharing once a day, every day for 30 days, establishing repurpose.io, especially if you're somebody who's like, I already post, a couple times a week. So doing that, challenging yourself to go live. Again, like realtors, like you guys have endless content, like, oh, you're just driving around because you don't have any business. No, you're not. You're previewing neighborhoods now, right? Sharing neighborhoods, telling people how generous you are for previewing your neighborhoods for clients, right? Another tip on how to find listings from an agent who does a lot on social media, if you don't have someone in your brokerage or whatnot, going for go and show listings. Because you guys know that they're staged, they're ready, they're available. Someone's probably not living there, so it's like they don't have a lot of personal effects they can't share, etc. So direct messaging, go and shows, and asking if you can do previews of their listing. And guess what? Your mom sees that and she's like, you have so many listings. They don't know the difference, right? So just having it there, having that social proof is really powerful. So continue to jot down your notes. And I think I made an automated suggestion down there. If you have no ideas, one, you can go to Corey's listing on Monday and do some free content with Ashley. Or like I said, collaborate with someone like Allied Home Inspection, a vendor you have, they're always willing. So the next principle we're talking about is staying top of mind. Oh shoot, it's already 12:52. We're gonna have to talk fast. If they can't remember you, they can't refer you. I hope to annoy you so much as a home inspector, you can't think of anybody else. When your client's like, I need a home inspector, you're like,
Oh man, who else besides Kimmy? I'm just kidding, right? Like if they can't remember you as a real estate agent, they can't refer you. So be top of mind, be present, be out there, share what you're doing. So I did a little social experiment. This was yesterday. In Instagram, I searched Asheville Realtor. Anybody see themselves up there? Hey,
Good job.
Alina, look, she's just like the winner of the day. Genuinely, I have no idea who's going to be here today. I did not do, this is organically what came up, you guys. There is proverbial real estate to be had. You guys need to make yourself present. So one of my top recommendations, put the word realtor in your either name or the sub name, which we'll go over towards the end. If it's not there, you're reducing your chances of being found. Again, it's not cringe. I promise none of your family will care. Whatever your username is right now, just tack realtor on there. Realtor is the highest search. Real estate agent, real estate broker, like gets messy and gets unfound. So this is genuinely what I found. Another thing I want to point out here, put your face. Alina, friggin' two high fives, because for example, the person to your left, great, I don't know who that is. If I'm looking for real estate agent, I'm going to click on one of the pictures with someone's face on it, right? Like, so making yourself known, making yourself seen. And I practice what I preach, right? I searched Asheville home inspector. We are 4th. I need to figure out how to get higher. That's my husband there on the bottom left, right? So you want to make sure you can be found. This is illustrating the other one. This was Google. I Googled Asheville Realtor. I clicked on videos. First 2 results are YouTube results, and the third is an Instagram post. 100% all search results for video on Google are being drawn from social media and stuff. So making sure you're present, making sure you're there, very important. And again, so a couple tips to promote yourself on social media so that you can get in those positions. You want to use hashtags. So making sure your bio, like I said, is set up correctly, using hashtags, engaging with your audience. So engaging, meaning commenting on people's stuff, liking people's stuff. I literally get paid to browse on social media, right? So for a couple minutes every day, I'm liking people's things, engaging with people's things. For example, real estate agents, because I want you guys to see my content. So I'm going to engage with your content. So the algorithm rewards me with that. And then real quick hashtag trick. That was one of my objections. I would start typing hashtags and I would like have an aneurysm. I was like, I can't do it. I can't type any more hashtags. So in my iPhone, which I'm sure droids do it as well, but I don't know, you can do a text replacement, you can do a keyboard shortcut, and all of my hashtags are pre-typed. I have a call to action. I say there's a link in my bio to book, like, follow, here's my phone number, and here's all my hashtags. So that way, every time I post, I just type this keyboard shortcut and it automatically pastes it in there and I don't have to think about it. Yeah, so it's a really good hack. I'm gonna go past this, but if this speaks to you, contact me and I'll help you circle back. But always make sure you're using your hashtags or you're not going to show up in those searches, right? You've got to give the search engine what they want. But wait, I still don't know how to execute. So a lot of people are like, this is great, Kimmy, but I'm not even posting. I don't know what you're talking about. So some really simple strategies for real estate agents and something I do personally. I'm going to show you guys. Am I in mine? So for example, here's our, okay, so the one of Lindsay on our computer, the one of the person opening the door, the one of Chuck laying on the couch, the one of Lindsay sitting on the table, the one of Whitney with the filter. These are all ones I stole from somebody else. So what I do when I'm browsing, or I didn't steal, I borrowed, I copied, is I find just trendy little things. So like this one, for example. Anybody get it? One of the home inspectors who commented, he's like, I'm not going to say how long it took me to get it. So she's holding a home filter for your HVAC. So I was like, inspector without a filter, inspector with a filter. I got that from a real estate agent. So my point I'm trying to make is get inspiration from other agents. I have an agent who I know locally who gets business from Instagram, posts every single day. All she does is share and save other agents' posts, right? So she's pairing B-roll with captions, but again, just borrowing it from other agents. So don't feel like you need to think of anything. I don't do anything original, I promise you that. Even though it looks really original, what I'm really doing is using inspiration from social media. So you guys as real estate agents, what I'm recommending is this kind of really easy combo, collecting B-roll So like I said, with my Mother's Day post, it's just a bunch of B-roll for my camera roll, and I'm pairing it with captions and whatnot. You guys need to be using hooks as well. So using direct call outs, like if your lease ends in May, this is what I would be doing. If you want to move before school starts, here's what you need to be doing now. Stop looking on Zillow, do this, right? So using hooks instead of saying like, trying to communicate that Zillow is no longer sharing FSBOs or something. No one knows what that means, right? Stop looking at Zillow, here's why. So using hooks, pairing them with B-roll is a really good way. Like for example, the top right, what she's typing on a computer, you can't see it, but she's using B-roll and she's not having to be forward facing to the camera. So Asheville Video Marketing, he shared another one from an agent who this listing, he just walks through the listing in one single shot at 2x speed, but it has like millions of views because it's simple and has a direct call out. It speaks to buyers. It's low tech. It's easy to watch. So doing these little powerful little snippets, if I'm trying to do something viral or shareable, I want 8 seconds or less. This was another screenshot I took from our profile that says basically things that are 15 seconds or less far outperform other things. So I get that question a lot too, like how long should things be, stuff like that. So I'm gonna probably skip that one now for time. So for example, here's a screenshot, and also all the platforms will do it for you. So this came from our personal Instagram, and it was kind of like, here's your professional tools. We had almost 700,000 views in the last month, 6.9 thousand for my followers alone. That's most powerful to me because my followers are people I've attracted, like real estate agents, clients, stuff like that. In May alone, I shared 61 reels. Like I told you guys, I post at least twice a day, so that's evidence to that. This one got some attention. That was an electrical panel that was labeled. And then also it tells me when my followers are most active, right? So if you have those questions, how often should I posting? When should I post? You'd be surprised how much information your apps will actually tell you. So Instagram will specifically tell you when your users are most active. So really helpful. And yeah, it's gonna suck. This is another realtor out of Seattle. So for you guys, follow realtors. I would recommend from other markets, because if I follow people in my market, I've heard this from a lot of people, they get a little bit of FOMO. Like I've been following an agent, like it's inspection day. I was like, that's weird. I don't have an inspection book today, right? Like just like I go on this downward spiral. But following agents from other markets, great, because you're like, you're not in competition with them. And then also you don't feel like if you repost that same idea that someone's going to see it. So like I said, this is a real estate agent out of Seattle. Your first 100 posts will probably suck, but you can't improve what you don't post. These two screenshots are from our actual CRM, where we had in the last year 15 direct bookings from social media alone. But I genuinely think a lot of our realtors who find us, that's their general impression, right? Like, okay, yeah, I did see you speak that one day, but really, you know, it was social media that like got where I got to know and like you. So don't be afraid to use social media. It absolutely works. Like I said, I've interviewed numerous agents in our market who have used it and are successful. And we're not going to brainstorm again. You're welcome to brainstorm on your free time. Oh, one last thing, turn over your papers. And for those on Zoom, if you want to email me, I can email this to you guys. One last thing we'll do really quickly, because I know we're almost out of time. Bio audit. Again, if you do nothing else today, make sure you at least have a presence, right? Your bio needs to be optimized on all platforms. This is how you're going to show up in that search for Asheville Realtor. So first things first, those top 2 lines that are bolded in black are the only word searchable fields on, this is Instagram, on Instagram. But Facebook's going to have the same opportunity, etc. So make sure you are not using words, same words twice in those if you can avoid it. I do have home and inspector in there twice, but you also see WNC real estate Asheville, right? So if someone's searching Asheville home inspector, WNC home inspector, there's a chance I'm going to show up. So making sure those are almost like keywords that you're using. So if your name is Allied Home Inspector, I don't want to put again Allied Home Inspector because I've already used those keywords. Making sure you're optimizing your bio. You have our says home inspector, we have our tagline, and then I've got what we do, right? Radon, pest, septic, sewer. Please, please, please have your phone number. If they can't find you, if they can't call you, I know we get a lot of spam calls, you're gonna get spam calls anyways. If they can't find you, they can't book with you. Have a call to action. Ours says book now, right? That's what I want. I want you to book a home inspection, and I'm going to provide my link right there for you guys to do it. I use Linktree. I really highly recommend it because that way I can set the link everywhere, and then I don't have to go back and change it every time. I want to change it. I can just change the link tree, which I'll share in a second. That's there. So please, if nothing else, optimize your bio on all these platforms because people need to be able to find you. This was the guy who had the walkthrough video I was talking about. As you can see, he's got his full name, Boston Realtor, has all the things. What I really love about him, those top 3 posts are pinned, so you can choose which ones stay at the top of your profile. He's got a Meet Sam, buyers start here, sellers start here. Because like, for example, for us as home inspectors, if you browse my page on any given day, you're like, cool, electrical panel. Some girl standing there with the filter. I don't know what you do or what's going on. So I always have my top posts pinned that are kind of like our informational, learn about us, here's who we are, etc. So again, turn back to this, make sure all of your platforms are optimized and that people can find you, that your contact information is everywhere. Here's our link tree. You want to have things in there that are always static, like schedule with me. Here's my website. Here's how to get a quote. For you guys, it would be like, do you want a free home evaluation? Do you want to download my app? Do you want to browse properties? Like, give them all the things, have a contact me button, have them have ways to get a hold of you. And if you learn nothing else today, one, just do it. If you're like, Kimmy, that was a lot. I need one thing. I need one task. You have to do it. Post every day for 30 days. Whatever you do, you have to be consistent. Any social media person I see speak, that's their first and foremost tip. Gotta do it. She's like, I know. You gotta do it. You gotta be consistent about it, right? Because if you have a good week and you're like, I'm on fire, I posted every day, doesn't matter. You gotta keep going. I've posted nearly every single day since I challenged myself to do that 30-day challenge. And really, I haven't honed it. Like, it really does not take up much of my time. We batch content. I use a scheduler on Instagram. And again, that's advanced, but please ask me for any questions. And last but not least, I would be remiss if I didn't actually ask for your business. I would love to work with you on your next home inspection. We can film content while we're there if you want. But I promise you, they're as good at inspecting homes as I like to think I am about social media. So thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you for Zoom folks. Hopefully that was tolerable and somewhat cohesive. And please, if you guys have any questions, let me know. But thank you all for your time.